Welcome back for part 4 of our Privilege Week. In this video, I'm going to break down why I believe and I think that people struggle with the fact of accepting white privilege. At this point, hopefully you've seen the other 3 videos and understand the basis of privilege, but just in case, I'll do a quick recap. Everyone has some advantages and disadvantages, depending on family, country, race, religion, etc. It doesn't make you bad, but if you assume that every single thing you achieved in your life is only a result of your hard work and not necessarily the combination of your hard work and the hand that you were dealt, then you might think something along the lines of, well, if I worked hard, then other people should be able to work hard. But the point of acknowledging white privilege is to say that we see your hard work, but we have to look at the fact that there are certain things in our society that give some of us advantages and other of us disadvantages. Thinking otherwise is pretty harmful and really not productive. So the main reason I think that white people, mainly straight white men, for example, struggle with grasping this concept is that in most cases they haven't had a similar struggle, haven't been exposed to a wide enough variety of people. Before people get up in arms and freak out because I said they didn't have the same struggles, I'm referring specifically to struggles in reference to oppression. So take a deep breath and let's continue. The term walk a mile in my shoes or walk a mile in your shoes exemplifies this perfectly. If you don't know what it's like, sometimes it's harder for you to understand where people are coming from. For example, I'm not a woman. I don't know what it's like to be a woman, but I grew up in a house full of women, my sisters, my mom, my grandma. So I've learned about their struggles, and because of that, I am more empathetic toward women, and I understand how to not be an asshole. Also, I'm not part of the LGBTQ+ community. However, I'm friends with people in the community, and I consider myself an ally, so I've taken the time to understand, or to try to understand, the struggle that they're going through. In the same idea, many of you watching are white because most of my friends happen to be white. You might not understand the extent of what it's like to be a black person in America. Even those that are close to me might not have had that sort of understanding because up until this summer, I pretty much never talked about it personally. This applies across the board. The video I made a couple weeks ago about the LGBTQ+ connection with the Black Lives Matter movement, we might not understand each other's struggle perfectly, but we understand what it's like to live in a society that puts you down and creates rules and laws and has a system that oppresses you. So as a straight white male, for example, this is just one example, society is geared toward you. You pretty much have every single advantage at your fingertips. Now, as mentioned before, this isn't going to say that you're not going to struggle because, for example, there are a lot of poor white people in this country, like a lot, but it definitely gives you a leg up in certain situations. That's why I mentioned before that the whole class privilege situation needs to be its own separate video because that's a whole nother thing. But we won't get too far into that. So a lot of people that get angry about white privilege is people that have worked really hard in their life, and we see you. You have your own struggles, we get it, everybody does. And I get that it doesn't seem fair that all of a sudden for some people you're experiencing this whole explosion of white privilege and you're like, oh, another thing I have to deal with, another thing that someone else is trying to put on me. But the fact of the matter is that we're not trying to put it on you. For example, society is crafting our lives in such a way that this happens whether you like it or not. It's just the way it works right now, but we can do things to help change it. Trust me, I've worked my ass off to get to where I am. I too wish I didn't have to deal with the way that society treats black people, but this is our reality. We crafted this, unfortunately. Maybe not us specifically, me and you, but the people that came before us, and now we have to deal with it. And I think that we can. We just have to actually make an effort, acknowledge things, and try. So how can we fix this? My personal favorite way to get these types of points across is through really good media, aka movies, books, podcasts, etc. One example is the movie Get Out that came out in 2017. If you haven't seen it, just go watch it. I first watched it with my sister. We had great conversations about it. But then over the years, I watched it with several other of my white friends. From this came dozens of questions and different thought processes. And it's movies like this that help people understand someone else's experience. Get Out is just one example. There's obviously a big list of stuff, and I'll put the list down below, or at least a link to a list that you can check some of these things out. If we all took the time to understand other people's struggles, similar to white and black, or able-bodied and not able-bodied, men and women, people that are rich versus poor, and then we actually did something about it, it'd be pretty neat. And the best part is, it doesn't negatively affect you at all. If you care about this country, I'm assuming you want everyone to win. That's kind of like the whole American dream, right? Anyways, here are some opinions on how I think we could potentially make some changes that would be super helpful. If I was in any sort of position of power, which I'm not, I would love to propose some sort of national culture exchange within the US itself. I think this would be huge. Personally, I've been blessed with being able to have a very diverse group of friends because of the college I went to. That went on to working at a company that was extremely diverse with people from over 25 different countries. And then recently, of course, I went to the UK to study my master's, which I got to meet a bunch of other international students and then travel to a ton of other different countries. These experiences help me understand how other people are thriving in the world. They help me think differently about pretty much every situation just because of this extra exposure. And probably most important, it helped me to raise my empathy level for others. But on a smaller scale, even if we got people from, I don't know, Idaho to come on a culture exchange to like New York City and vice versa, I think that'd be super powerful. Think about it. How do you squash all these stereotypes and help dismantle a system that is so messed up? Exposure therapy. If people out there don't understand people over here, and us over here don't understand people over there, put them together. Maybe they'll find something in common and then things will be better. I don't know, just a thought. Whew, it has been a very long week. If you watched all 4 videos, comment down below. I appreciate you so much. Thank you. One important note is if you already knew all of this and you watched anyways, 1, thank you. I really appreciate you even more. 2, share it with somebody that you know might be struggling with this sort of idea and thought process. These videos that I make only go as far as my circle and can't go any further unless you share them, or if you go like and watch and share on my YouTube. So if you have any questions, comments, ideas, thoughts, praise, you want to buy a t-shirt, you want to collab, you want to just have a conversation, you want to join a group chat or something, comment down below, message me, DM me, all the things. This has been a lot of fun. I hope you learned something. I hope this was slightly entertaining. And I hope that you are all taking the time to acknowledge the privilege that you have. As usual, remember to stay optimistic. Better days are in fact coming. For now, peace out.